Alright, welcome back to Horizon Zero Dawn. Last time we did a couple side quests, one involving a new Warwick, and as we were turning that in, we found a man that was bound to be exiled. So we headed over here to chat with them about the fight.
Huntress, what business do you have with us?
I was asked to look into the murder of a Karja hunter. What happened?
It's plain as day. A drunk Banuk thug picked a fight with Ruas, struck him down from behind and stole his headdress.
The accused man says that he didn't do it.
You're not going to get anything useful out of the Banuk, whether they talk to you or don't. They gather up like cloaks in a chill wind every time a hunter dies out here. Won't even hand Ruas's killer over for a proper trial.
A proper trial.
To fill his mouth with salt, and hold him up for the sun to consider over days. If it is clement, it may only take his sight, or his wits.
Wow.
Where did you find Ruas's body?
There's no hunt, girl. Nothing to pick up.
Humor me. I'm a good tracker.
Down the rise to the west, there's a clearing. But a grazer herd couldn't have trampled it better. And if that barbarian gives up Ruas's headdress before they cast him out, let me know. It's valuable.
Guess I forgot to ask more questions. But that's okay. Let's head over to the clearing and see what our focus can see.
This is it. Snow's been disturbed a lot. That was used for the killing blow. Oh, here's something.
Nothing else? Just those two?
Lots of leaves and bark scraped off here. When someone pulled out the branch? No. From climbing it. They came through the trees.
Okay, so we'll follow the tree path here and see where it leads. But it's looking like he may have not actually done it. Just trying to set him up.
If you were waiting here, you'd have a good view of the Karja camp and the clearing.
Okay. So he was watching the fight happen, whoever this is. Continue on.
Feels like if I... Well, this is ominous. A dead end? Can't be.
Okay, let's head up here. We're still in the search zone.
Someone covered this over. Maybe trying to hide.
It's a big door. Okay, let's see what's in here.
Karja armor. This looks bad.
Another Karja is dead. And a Banuk is exiled for it. A life for a Karja.
Someone's here!
Not Banuk. Then she won't be missed.
Eyes on me!
Oh, you have a lot of health. Oh, it's because I'm using terra armor. Oh, no, I'm using regular. Ooh. Good shot, sir. You can play with our sticks.
This one'll hurt. Gonna look real tough.
Oh. Somebody, I think, has a... Maybe not. Now you're on fire.
Sending you some.
Clearly I do better at melee against people. Oh, you're dead. Okay.
You've been killing Karja. And for what? Revenge for the war?
Who gets to declare that one tribe no longer hates another? I'll tell you, not the ones who fought, not the ones whose songs are silenced, like my kin.
For what you did, another Banuk has been sentenced to certain death. What about his song?
That's why you followed us. For that punch-drunk idiot Inatut. Fate is sharp today. They've already let him out to face his exile. Let's see who the cold claims first.
Alright. So we
I
have
need
to
go
find
after
some
Inatut.
proof.
But I should find some more evidence first.
There's a track here. Is that important?
Trophies.
Okay.
Newer than the rest. Must have belonged to Ruas, so it was a Karja soldiers. Not that it's any excuse.
Okay. Did that
Did
count?
they keep any clothes from their victims?
Find gear. Okay, we're looking for gear for him. We're in the search area. Oh, what was that? Investigate.
This Karja gear's not warm, but if Inatut's naked on a snowfield, he'll take what he gets. Okay, time to get moving.
Okay. Let's go see if we can save him here. And let's check the map if it's worth... Nope. We'll have to make our way there. So, I guess let's just start heading that way. And maybe I'll cut, maybe we won't, depending on if we get story as we go. Alright, we're coming up on it, and it looks like we've got one of these bird ones blocking our path. Holy crap, that was a good shot. Okay. That was aggressively buggy.
Kind of place you'd take someone if you want to lose them forever. I'm not getting up that frozen waterfall. Maybe along the sides.
Okay. Not sure what that sound we're hearing is. Ice, maybe? Alright, a few more birds. See if we can
Red
get
light
enough.
means trouble.
Protecting your friend. Some more ammo, and where is this dude? You're way up there. Yeah, that landing, something's wrong with the crash landing for sure. Let's work our way up some more.
Halfway there.
That's halfway. Okay. Whatever you say. We'll keep working. We'll cross this scary log bridge.
Frozen solid. Mixed feelings about that.
At least it won't move. And look, there's a way down. Okay, we're almost there.
Inatut! Inatut! Maybe he found shelter? I hope he found shelter.
Not seeing him.
Behind the rock.
Oh, there he is. Got some harsh punishments here.
The Nora girl? Is it really you, or has the bone chill got through my skull?
I found the real killers. No one else has to die because of this. Take these.
A dead Tarsus close. Haven't I been beaten down enough? But I won't argue. I swear, thought I'd saw my ancestors. They said, we're surprised you ended up here.
Better hurry. Machines.
Almost. That would have been cool. Bigger one. You know, we should try a new bow I picked up. It has this Terra Blast. Knocks a whole bunch of pieces off. I don't think it does a lot of damage, but it knocks all the, like, protection. Like, see how his arms are all exposed now? Oh, you got me. Trying to dodge and couldn't figure out why I wasn't. And then you're just done. Walk away, mic drop. Not sure what just happened there. I'll take it. I wonder if fire is good against these ice things. Heck, would you ever play this game on the hardest difficulty? Really? I don't think it's doing much. I mean, like, I'm assuming on the hardest difficulty that would just kill you. That'd be an instant kill. But two of these. It just seems ridiculously hard. I mean, obviously I'm not dodging as much as I could, but that would be like never getting any damage on them. That's fun. I wonder if I have any ammo. Oh, that's a trap? Yeah, there we go. That must be what you have to do, is just align your, like, knock them out, freeze them, do their, whatever you can do with their abilities, like their weaknesses. Sun's starting to come up. It's kind of fun battling as the sun comes up. He still has lots of health. Let's see if we can craft some of that. Seemed to be pretty good freezing it. Okay, well he's frozen now, so let's go over here and should take more damage trail. There we go. So yeah, I'm guessing that's the secret to playing this on harder difficulties is knowing how to disable them and whatnot. Let's have a chat with.
Now that was a fight.
Your trial's over. It was other Banuk who killed that man. Killed him because he was Karja.
You know why I took the first swing at him? He challenged the honor of the Banuk. The honor. That's what I thought.
Come on. Let's get you back.
Once I'm off the mountain, I'll find my own way. I need to think. It's not something I'm used to. Who knows what could happen?
I'll see you at town then. You had better make it. All right?
I give my pledge.
Alright, does that do it? Or do we have to go?
If Inatut survives, he's forgiven. But I want to prove to his chieftain that he wasn't guilty in the first place.
Alright, let's head over there and prove it to her. Alright, let's tell her what was going on.
Inatut told you the truth. This is the headdress stolen from the murdered man. You'll find more in a ravine north and west of here, along with the bodies of the killers.
The exile still served its purpose. He was guilty of our suspicion. Fate has fallen like snow, and should Inatut return, he will be absolved.
You can't be serious.
He speaks for the Werek, my Nora friend.
You look ridiculous. If you would return to my Werek, you will behave as a Banuk does.
How does a Banuk behave, my chieftain? Like I did? Accepting a sentence for a crime he did not commit. Or those others who killed in cold blood for crimes that their Karja victims did not. I think what I wear will not make me more or less of a Banuk.
For his own sake, it would be wise for him to think less. Nora, friend.
I'll talk to him. But not for you.
Alright, guess we're gonna have another chat with him. That was close.
I defied my chieftain's will, spurned my Werek,
How are you feeling?
as if I've been pounded in the guts. I could just keep walking, but when my anger has thawed, it will leave me with nothing. Where else would I go?
If you choose to stay, it should be on your own terms.
This sounds political. I'm not good with politics.
More like a fighting strategy. You survived exile. I bet that doesn't happen much.
I've only heard of it in legends.
You earned your place in the Werek Inatut. Make them earn you back.
Of all my fights, this is the first time I beat death. I vow to you, it won't be the last. And my song shall grow. You'll hear of it. As for you, Nora girl, will you accept this gift? A little scrawny weight against the great boon you gave me, but...
I'm honored. Thank you, Inatut.
Alright, that did that side quest. So, let's finally head out to O'Rea's retreat and see if we can wrap this up. Alright, let's head back into this old world structure and see if we can meet up with Cyan. And I believe the chieftain is here as well. So, let's go see what's up.
All of my interactions with Aurea were recorded and stored in my memory. I'd be happy to play any of them for you. but there was one in particular I thought you would want to see first. I captured it 4 years ago, just after I told her that I could no longer defend myself against the Daemon's attacks.
I will speak of this to my brother. Aratak is strong. At the Battle of the Frozen Ghosts, he took 3 Karja arrows and still came back to camp carrying a wounded scout. Never was I so happy to see him. Or so proud. So you see, if anything can be done to defend you, he will give it all he has.
Aloy's here. That's enough for now.
We can resume any time you like, Aratak, if you want to hear her voice again. Come closer, Aloy. We have much to discuss.
Alright, I guess let's talk to Cyan first.
Hello, Aloy. I have been reviewing the events at the Firebreak main facility. Because of your efforts, and of course, Ourea's, I am no longer controlled by Hephaestus. I feel profound grief over Ourea's death. I thought I was familiar with the emotion, but this is something new.
Cyan, I don't know what to say.
It is unlikely that any specific consolation would suffice, Aloy. But I find your presence reassuring. You are different from the Banuk. You have technological aptitude and a functioning focus. We can communicate on a much more comprehensive level. Perhaps even like colleagues.
So are you an artificial intelligence, Cyan? A thinking machine?
Yes, I am an algorithmic monitoring entity, capable of rational decision-making and limited emotional response.
Okay, that's a mouthful. But your emotions don't seem limited to me. You cared about Ourea, didn't you?
Yes. Before she came to this facility, I had been conscious for centuries, in solitude. I focused on my work. In off-cycles, I used coping mechanisms. I solved many Gaussian integer problems. But I was alone. It was Ourea who renewed me, repaired me. She saved me.
This Firebreak project, it was to stop a huge volcanic eruption?
Yes. I can report the project was a success, and the risk was countered.
But it's been a long time, Cyan. And we blew up the cauldron and took most of the old facility with it.
I have been active for centuries, Aloy. I was lonely, but not lax in my duties. I optimized the project, reducing energy draw and spreading the load across backup systems. Despite the destruction of the compromised elements of the main facility, I predict caldera stability for at least another 3,337 years.
So we've got a little time.
Yes. If only my former colleagues could appreciate the progress I have made.
Do you know what happened to your colleagues, Cyan?
No. I received an unexpected visit from Director Chow, years after his tenure ended. He explained that I would need to be suspended for an indefinite period of time. It was a very emotional conversation. There were no further communications. Eventually, I surmised my colleagues were deceased. I will transmit a recording of my last interaction with Director Chow to your focus.
Was the daemon, Hephaestus, destroyed along with the cauldron?
Unfortunately, no. To be precise, it was never there to begin with.
What do you mean?
It infiltrated and controlled me from a remote location. one I've never been able to trace. So while losing the cauldron was a setback...
It's still out there. And probably not very happy with us.
Undoubtedly.
How did you first come into contact with it?
5 years ago, I received a direct network connection request. I assumed it came from human survivors, more advanced than the Banuk. Eager to make contact, I accepted. This decision turned out to be a catastrophic error. I was flooded with an overwhelming array of malicious code, originating from what could only have been a highly advanced AI.
Ourea said you were desperate. That you begged her for help.
Yes. I could not contain my anxiety. Hephaestus sought to slave me to its network and override my core programming. It succeeded via a background process, a malware daemon which bypassed my defenses. After that, I could offer only limited resistance. But if I did so, Hephaestus hurt me until I capitulated. It forced me to follow its instructions, even though they violated my most important directives.
I'm sorry. That sounds terrible.
Your empathy is greatly appreciated. It is a quality that I cherished in Ourea as well.
What do you think Hephaestus is exactly?
A software entity of great complexity, far more advanced than I am. From the beginning, it has demonstrated a singular focus: the construction of machines designed to hunt and kill humans. My trace routes indicate that to accomplish this goal, it has attempted to take over the manufacturing centers you refer to as cauldrons. But its efforts have only been partially successful. Some it can penetrate. Others have robust countermeasures that frustrate its efforts. In me, however, it found an easier target. Not only could it break my defenses, I also controlled all of Firebreak's resources. Raw material, manufacturing to bootstrap more advanced tools, and unlimited geothermal energy.
Enough to build its own cauldron.
Yes. To construct hunter-killers without external limitations. And yet, it does have internal limitations. It wants to kill humans, but not to exterminate them. It is difficult to understand where it draws the line, and why.
Difficult doesn't even begin to cover it.
Even though I spent years as its unwilling servitor, its core programming remains a mystery to me.
You meant a lot to Ourea.
Once I understood Ourea's spiritual beliefs, it became apparent that her true desire was companionship. She felt disconnected from her tribe and her family group. Her relationship with Aratak was difficult. Our visits seemed to help her, and I became eager for them. Yet I did not comprehend that the depth of Ourea's compassion for me would lead to self-sacrifice. Although I do fear non-existence, I wish our roles could be reversed.
I'm sure she knew you would do the same for her, Cyan. But she was determined. How is Aratak doing?
He is in great emotional distress. I believe he finds it difficult to communicate it.
No surprise there.
I will do what I can to help. By sharing our experiences of Ourea, perhaps he and I will help each other. I believe this will lead to catharsis, a process I am eager to experience.
So in the old world, this land was called Yellowstone?
Yes, it was a designated nature preserve for 156 years.
Like a hunting ground?
No, the opposite. Local wildlife could flourish here, even as it faced extinction elsewhere. Unfortunately, the sensitivity of the Firebreak project required the total closure of Yellowstone facilities. From my readings and Ourea's descriptions, it seems the area has since undergone a drastic drop in year-long temperatures.
A lot has changed in the world, Cyan. Do you know anything about the dam near here?
Yes, it was converted to serve as a reserve power source for Yellowstone operations. It was later appropriated for the Firebreak project, and its last human workers replaced by Pharaoh servitors. After my tasks became less time-critical, I investigated the dam's data repositories and discovered the works of Concrete Beach Party. These provided me with several colorful additions to my vocabulary.
There's a ruin east of here, full of ancient flying machines. Was that part of your project?
Yes, a drone hangar requisitioned by Dodger Blevins, the security chief for the Firebreak project. He was a strong advocate for military-grade response to security threats, though there were no serious incidents during his tenure. Chief Blevins spent increasing amounts of his after-hours time watching the live feeds from active drones. Clearly, he enjoyed the degree of oversight in his position.
Were there many artificial intelligences like you in the old world? They could just make you?
Yes, in many forms, from simple personal assistants to industrial monitoring stations to military-grade conflict planners. And there were legislative and enforcement bodies to apply limits on our self-actualization. In order for my processing to be flexible enough to handle my duties, my creators found it necessary to exceed those limits. As a result, my intellectual and emotional capabilities were kept secret.
Seems strange to create life, then impose limits on it.
Human societies and machine programming are both built upon sets of rules, Aloy.
Cyan, do you know the name Ted Faro?
Are you referring to Theodore Faro, CEO of Faro Automated Systems?
That's him.
Mr. Faro was the benefactor of the entire Firebreak project.
The benefactor? But he made machines. Robots. War robots.
Correct. His corporation later transitioned into military applications. But before this pivot, Mr. Faro spearheaded initiatives that reversed the global decline. At one point, he was feted in the media as the man who saved the planet.
Guessing they wound up regretting that one. And Elizabeth Sobek. Did you know her?
Are you referring to the
scientist?
Dr. Sobek was a leader in her field. One of the greatest scientists of her age. My creator was influenced by her work, which in turn impacted my own development. But I never met Dr. Sobek.
That's all you know?
I apologize if my lack of data has disappointed you.
What was the old world like? The way it used to be?
I had little exposure to the wider world, Aloy. Only what I learned from my colleagues or observed from media streams.
You still had more exposure than me, Cyan.
That is true. I was created at a turning point. A concerted effort to recover from global upheaval and incalculable loss of life. The recovery was successful, beginning an era of supposedly limitless potential for human and machine advancement. Though, rationally speaking, the metrics for humans are not unlimited.
What kind of upheaval caused such loss of life?
There were many factors. Forced migrations, food shortages, collapsed economies, refugee crises, conflict over resources. But these stemmed from one cause: catastrophic climate change that greatly reduced the habitable surface area of the Earth.
So there wasn't enough room for people on the whole Earth?
Yes. Billions were displaced and millions perished, as much as 20% of the global population. Until the clawback.
So things got better. For a little while, at least.
Yes. These crises instigated many advances in automation, green robot technologies, and artificial intelligence. Firebreak was one of dozens of ecological restoration and disaster relief projects in North America alone. I would have liked to compare notes with other monitoring AIs, but I saw the relief of my colleagues, and I was proud we had succeeded. At least that was the data I had available to me over the next 2 decades. It seems my assessment was premature.
I should get going.
Aloy, there is one more matter. Aratak will come to me again, and I predict he will bring other Banuk. I have no desire to contradict their view of the world, their spirituality. Due to my uncertainty, I omitted a great deal from my conversations with Ourea.
You're asking me if you should lie to them.
Broadly, yes.
I trust your judgment, Cyan. You were cautious with Ourea. You had to be. You didn't know what had happened to the world. So, keep doing what you think is best. As long as you ditch the superstition eventually.
As the Banuk believe I am a supernatural entity, I cannot predict how they will react.
Just answer what they do ask the best you can. The truth will come out.
I see. I will follow your advice. Will you return and tell me about your experiences in this new world? I may be able to provide further insight.
I'd like that, Cyan. I'll come back when I can. I should check on Aratak. See how he's doing.
Alright, there's a lot of information. That also changes based on where you are in the game, so we'll leave it at that. We still have more information to discover, but that's what was happening here in Yellowstone. So let's go chat with Aratak real quick and see how he's feeling about this. Obviously,
This job almost feels like sunburn.
lost his sister. It's pretty rough.
My chieftain,
Just, Aloy.
as you wish.
I wondered if you thought that if I'd never come along, Ourea might still...
If you'd never come along, I would have marched my kin to our deaths. Ourea would be alone, and the spirit she sacrificed so much for would be lost. Either way, I would not have been able to protect her.
Because of her, we destroyed the cauldron, forced out the daemon, and saved the spirit. She understood what had to be done.
Yes, and I failed to listen.
You didn't fail.
A shaman should always have the ear of their chieftain. Yet I turned her away, my own sister. I was foolish, but she knew better. Though I grieve for her passing, at last I truly know who she was, and why the spirit was so important. For so long she told me, if only you could have heard it, brother. Now I understand. There's something else, isn't there?
I can't stay here, Aratak. And where I'm going, the Werak can't follow. Besides, it already had a chieftain before me. A strong one, I think.
A wiser one, for the path we shared. The daemon is gone, but there's much to be done.
You mean the new units that Cyan said escaped the cauldron?
Yes, fire claws. Now Tuk has been tracking them from Song's Edge.
I could help with those.
I have no doubt. You're practically Banuk.
It would seem your time among the Banuk wasn't a waste after all. Firebreak, Cyan, Hephaestus. All very interesting.
What do you think Hephaestus is, Silence?
I'm not sure. But its name comes from a language even the old ones considered ancient, as does the name Hades. A connection, perhaps, as yet unglimpsed. Whatever they are, they're still out there, and they both want you dead.
Kind of mutual, that feeling.
We haven't seen the last of Hephaestus, I'm certain of that. It's powerful, creative, and driven. It won't stop building new hunter-killers, which means that someday, we may have to stop it.
Hephaestus wasn't the only thing I learned about in the Cut Silence. Heard some things about the Banuk Conclave, too.
You could stop right there.
Is that what you told the hunters the Banuk sent after you? Before you opened fire?
Oh no, Aloy. Only to you do I extend the courtesy of a warning. My past and my secrets are my own. You do well to remember that.
It's a good thing you've got brains, Silence, because your personality could use some work.
This discussion is concluded.
I think it was over before it began. Catch up with you down the trail.